What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to Who Gives a Dram. On this episode, we are going to be finishing up our little impromptu Elijah Craig Barrel Proof series with Elijah Craig Barrel Proof B520. Hey, everybody. What's going on? I am your host, Connor, and thank you for tuning in to episode 27 of Who Gives a Dram. 27 episodes, man. Can't believe it at all, actually. When I first started the podcast, I wasn't sure how many episodes I do or anything like that. I just knew that I was going to take it very seriously, and I'm glad I did because I thoroughly enjoy doing this every single week. So yeah, that's that, episode 27. Big deal. Before we jump into the review this week, before we jump into the meat and potatoes of the podcast, I want to give a quick shout out to Snoot Glass. Just my favorite nosing and tasting whiskey glass on the market. As you guys know, I use this glass every single week. It's fantastic. I love the look. I love the sleek design. I love the material. I love how it feels in my hand. I love how I can really capture the true essence of nosing and tasting a whiskey through Snoot Glass. And if you guys want to experience the same thing that I do week after week on the podcast, you can check out www.snootglass.com. Promo code WG8020 for 20% off your entire order. And they don't just have whiskey glasses or the tumblers here. They have crystal neat whiskey glasses. They have coffee mugs. They have wine glasses, and they really are great people over there. So www.snootglass.com, promo code WG8020 for 20% off your entire order. Also, shout out to The Grapevine Media, www.thegrapevinemedia.com. Check out the website for all your New England sports, breaking news, pop culture, TV, movies, whiskey, content on the internet. We also just launched a little merch store so you can get some official Grapevine Media merchandise, and it's actually really cool. Matt did a really, really good job creating that, and Hunter too. Matt and Hunter, both of them. But go to www.thegrapevinemedia.com. Check out the merch store, check out all of our articles, and give us a follow. So, and last but not least, I'm going to plug my own stuff because my own podcast. Make sure you're following the podcast on Instagram, at Who Gives a Dram. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and anywhere else you listen to podcasts. Make sure you're subscribed on those as well. Now that that's out of the way, now that the bills are paid, I hate when people say on podcasts, "Oh, it's time to pay the bills," and they start reading ads. I think that's really dumb. I actually really don't like that at all. But that's kind of what we just did. Even though I don't make any money, it's all good. It's all gravy, as they say in places. As I've heard people say, it's all gravy. This week we're wrapping up our Elijah Craig Barrel Proof little kind of limited series we've been doing. That was very impromptu. I had no plans on really doing a continuating series of barrel proofs, but here we are. We're at the end of the run here. It's been a solid 3 weeks of doing Elijah Craig Barrel Proof bourbons here on the podcast. We started with the small batch, and then we went with the A121, and then the C920, and now we're ending with Elijah Craig Barrel Proof B520. And if you've been catching up and listening to the podcast as of late, you understand what B520 stands for, but just in case you don't, I will explain it to you right now again. The B stands for it's the second batch of 3 that came out in 2020. A, B, and C. B is the second. The 5 stands for the month that this was released. The 5th month of the year is May. So this was the second release of the year. It was released in May, and the 20 signifies the year. B520, the second release that was released in May 2020. And for what I can remember, this is the barrel proof whiskey. This whiskey right here, B520, that ignited my love for barrel proof / barrel strength / cask strength whiskeys. A little bit of history behind B520 and in my own experience. I ordered B520 at my local cigar bar probably around a year ago, if I had to guess. Maybe around 8 months ago. I don't remember what it was for. I think we were celebrating a new job or something along those lines. I'm not entirely positive, but me and my brother Kale went to our local cigar bar, Vintage Cigar Lounge in Westerly, Rhode Island. Shout out to Vintage. They are the best cigar shop in the area. I love everybody there. It's one of my favorite spots in the world. If you're in the area, check out Vintage Cigar Lounge in downtown Westerly, Rhode Island, because it is awesome. And they always have a great selection of whiskey too, which I always appreciate. They always have a great selection. Like this past weekend, I had a pour of Larceny Barrel Proof A121, and I haven't seen Larceny Barrel Proof anywhere. So that was very good. But this is a great cigar spot. Me and my brother went there just to we celebrated something. It might have been a new job. It was definitely something. We were there for a celebration of some sort. And I ordered Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. I don't remember why. I just remember pairing it with a very medium-bodied cigar. I probably had a Macanudo Cafe Hyde Park, if I had to guess. One of my favorite cigars. Actually, my favorite cigar. Period. I love Macanudo Cafe Hyde Parks. But I paired it with barrel proof, and the barrel proof it was so strong to me. It was so hot, but it was so flavorful. It was just a pour of just flavorful, high proof whiskey, and I fell in love with it. And I don't think I've had the B520 since then. I was given this bottle, again, by my friend Adam, who I've shouted out several times on the podcast. This was traded for, well, he actually just gave it to me. We traded, I gave him a Booker's Granny's batch, and he gave me a bottle of C920 because I was looking for that. And then he had one more pour left in this bottle, and he gave it to me. So today, I figured, what better way to kill off this bottle than to do it live on the podcast. So that's what we're doing. I actually have several whiskeys that I haven't tried yet that I'm saving to open up directly on the podcast. So if you guys want me to review a whiskey, you can always give me suggestions in DMs or just reach out to me in any way and give me suggestions as to what I should review. But if you want me to review something in particular, if you want to hear my opinions on anything in particular, feel free to send me stuff. I will try anything and everything as long as it's whiskey. As long as it's whiskey. It's got to be whiskey. Nothing else. But if it's any type of whiskey and you guys want to hear something in particular me review, send it over my way. Because I'll drink it. And I'll give it an honest review. I'm honest with everything. I heard a podcast, or maybe it was a YouTube video, earlier last week that was saying, all whiskey podcasters are, they're always just doing positive reviews, and they're never honest with saying a whiskey is shitty. I have never run into a shitty whiskey, so I don't know everybody's palate is different, everybody's taste is different. I don't know what this guy was thinking, but everyone's taste is different when it comes to shitty whiskey. I don't know if I've ever had I've had some whiskeys that I didn't prefer, but I don't know if I've ever had a truly bad whiskey. I really don't think I have. Had to check something on the mic real quick. My bad. So yeah, we might as well just get right into it. I don't think anything of importance happened this weekend. I had some UFC fights. Won't get into it on the podcast. But I did have, what was my weekend pour? We'll go into that. What was the weekend pour this weekend? This weekend, I bought a second bottle of Buffalo Trace for $30 at Wyoming Package Store, one of my favorite package stores in the area. And I just know, like, my Buffalo Trace I have now is almost gone, and I knew I was going to need to replenish it. There are a few bottles that I need to replenish currently. I'm also looking at a Sazerac Rye that I need to replenish. But I've been able to find Buffalo Trace pretty regularly around me, so I wasn't worried about scooping it up quick. So I scooped up another Buffalo Trace for $30. I also picked up a few whiskeys earlier in the week that I will, when it's time to review them, I will bring them out. Some things that I haven't been able to find, and I found them, and I'm very proud that I found them. You know that feeling when you're out whiskey hunting and you just see, not necessarily something that you're looking for, but something that you know is hard to find, and it just looks like a beam of light is hitting the bottle, and the angels start singing, and the heavens open up, and this is just a heavenly light that's just beaming perfectly off the bottle. I had that euphoric experience last week, and it was amazing. It was fantastic. So, but that's it. I had a Buffalo Trace Saturday night before the UFC fights at my cousin's house with a Monte Cristo white vintage Toro cigar. Great pairing. When I first started the podcast, I intended on doing cigar reviews as well, but I don't know enough about cigars to really review them, and I don't have anywhere to smoke them because I can't smoke them in my studio because there's carpet and it's just an enclosed room and I don't have very good ventilation, so probably is not the best idea to do that. But that being said, I guess I could. I don't know. Think about it. But we're going to kill this. By the way, if you're watching this on the video podcast, we're killing this bottle tonight. There's not much left. Here we go. Nice. Tall pour. There it goes. There it is. You guys like to see bottle kills on the podcast? Because there's one right there. Picture moment. That's a picture moment right there. Rest in peace to my bottle of B520. So, B520's gone. Pretty healthy pour. I was about right. It's probably about an ounce and a half in here. Ooh. Oh, man. I'm going to love this. Might as well just get right into it, right? Start smelling this. Ah, man. Yeah. Yup. Let's see what last week's. So last week, the C920. Oh, let me get into the details of this bottle. Obviously, produced and distilled by Heaven Hill Distillery. Came out in May 2020. It is 127.2 proof, which is 63.6% alcohol. The mash bill is 78% corn, 12% malted barley, and 10% rye. And MSRP is at around $65, the same as all Elijah Craig barrel proofs do. So again, 78% corn mash bill with 12% malted barley and 10% rye. That tells me that this is probably going to be a bit of a spicier bourbon, even though the corn content is fairly high. This tells me that this is going to be good. The C920 was 66.4%, so it was a bit hotter than this. But from what I remember, this is very oak, leather, tobacco, just those manly scents and tasting notes that you would think of as like a man's tasting notes. And right off the bat, I get that. right off the bat, it's oak forward. It's like it's straight up oak. But then it opens up to a bit of not as much sweetness as the C920, I'd say, at least to me. Oh God, it smells so good. I wish you guys could smell this with me, because it honestly smells so good. And I don't know when the next time I'm gonna be able to find a B520 is, so I'm enjoying this. I'm getting a lot of aged oak. I'm getting a hint of sweet. Almost like a sweet, almost like a sweet bread, kind of. Like a fruit cake, kind of like that, or like a banana bread or like a banana nut bread or something like that. Like it's sweet. It has like that maltiness to it a bit, like a bread note, but it's very sweet. I mean, I'm sorry, that note is sweet. The smell is not sweet. That note in particular is sweet. What I'm getting forward is oak, dark oaky notes. I'm getting that bread type smell, like that sweet bread. I'm getting like kind of like perfumey smells too. It's kind of weird. Wasn't expecting that. Yeah, but I'd say oak bomb. I wrote down what our friends over at Breaking Bourbon said. Sweet caramel, graham cracker, aged oak, and it's perfectly balanced. I agree with the perfectly balanced. Aged oak, yeah. Graham cracker. That must be that sweet bread. I don't know. Graham cracker's kind of like more of a graham cracker. I don't know how to describe the smell of a graham cracker, but that's what that is. And then sweet caramel. I don't get a whole lot of sweetness, like sweet forward, like caramel, vanilla-ish. I mean, of course, there's a hint of it because it's bourbon. This is a 12-year whiskey that's barrel strength. So this is the most enjoyable nose out of the 3 barrel proofs that I've had. It's super, super, like, there's a lot going on it. I gotta drink it. All right, you guys. Well, cheers to another week of Who Gives a Dram. I hope you guys are drinking whiskey with me. To the B520. Thank you for being on my whiskey shelf so long and nearly empty. Cheers, you guys. Let's drink whiskey. Oh, that's an oak bomb. Oh, that gets sweet on the back end too, and it's hot. Yeah. Oak, straight up. First impressions, without even looking at these notes. Oak right off the bat. Hits you in the face with oak, a little bit of rye spice. On the back end, it turns into like a tobacco. Exactly how I remember it. Turns into a tobacco, like a sweet tobacco, a little bit like that bread-ish note, like that banana. It's not banana. I don't taste banana, but like a sweet bread, like a Portuguese sweet bread. But right up front, and then that finish is big. Very smooth in the mouth. It's not very viscous, but at the same time, it's not non-existent. The finish is there. Big finish. Feels good in the mouth. Made a joke about that last time. Posted it on TikTok too. If you're not following me on TikTok, you should. Yeah, this is great. This tastes like Elijah Craig Barrel Proof B520. Just tastes like how it tastes like something you would find something you would taste in your grandma's kitchen for a dessert is the best way to describe it. It's got like the forward like harshness kind of that oak, some rye spice, a little bit of baking spice thrown in there, but nice and sweet and inviting and complex on the back that just makes you want to go back for more, just like Nana's cooking. Shout out Nana. Shout out to my Nana. My Nana makes the best meatballs on the planet. My Nana also makes the best. She makes a lot of the best of a lot of things. She makes the best meatballs. She also makes the best Christmas cookies, without a doubt. And she also makes the best peanut butter and fluff sandwich. That's scientifically proven. My grandma, my Nana, makes the best peanut butter and fluff sandwich. All my cousins who are listening know exactly what I'm talking about. Let's take another sip. The smell is just awesome. Such a good smell. Oh my God, that's so good. I just got a big, strong vanilla note on the back end of that one. Man. This is going to be the highest rated whiskey I've done on the podcast so far. This is going to be a big one. I can already tell. I want to just drink the rest of this right now. But I also want to save it. I'm going to make this last all night. Yeah, the basis is that oak spice forward note, but on the like almost as it's transitioning to the back of your throat, it is like just straight up vanilla, like tobacco, just fantastic smells. Seriously, oh my God. Can't say enough about this whiskey. This whiskey is like, this whiskey tastes like, all right, I got it. This whiskey tastes like how it feels. Like when you're crushing on somebody for a long time and then you see them in person, whether it's like someone you see every day or maybe someone you haven't seen in a while, just someone that comes across your mind and maybe you see them on Instagram or something and then you see them in person. That's how this whiskey tastes. It's like seeing the hot girl in person. That's a really dumb metaphor. But what I'm trying to get at is that it is just so maybe it's the opposite of what I just said, because it's so inviting and it's so like you would think it packs a punch in the beginning, but at the end it's just so nice and smooth. So maybe I take that back. Maybe it's the opposite of that, because when you see that girl in public, it's not inviting. You get nervous and you end up running away and tucking your tail between your legs. Except if you're from me. I'm such an idiot. I say this all the time, but like I say this stuff and I'm sitting alone in my apartment and I'm saying all this ridiculous nonsense and drinking whiskey. But don't be embarrassed for me, as I said before, because I do it all the time. One more sip. Hey man, if you're not having a silly goose time, then what's the point? You know? Life is all about just making the most of it, not taking things too seriously, and just enjoying the ride. I just made that up. No one else has ever said that in the past. I just made it up. Yeah, so let's get into a rating of this whiskey. So everything in consideration, the proof, the MSRP, the tasting notes. I am giving this Elijah Craig barrel proof B520. I am giving this an overall rating of a 9.4. I think that's the highest rated whiskey we've done so far on the podcast. I have a list going on somewhere in my little notebook of tricks here. Yep, 9.4. Yep, that's the biggest one. 9.4. That's what we're going with, you guys. 9.4 on this. This is, if this is the best barrel proof Elijah Craig I've had yet. It's probably now that I've reestablished how much I like this, probably now in my top 3 pours. If anyone can locate me another B520, please send it my way. I will gladly drink the entire bottle. But yeah, this is a great pour, you guys. This is just the epitome of barrel proof whiskey. It's like just such a classic bourbon taste to it, just amped up because it's barrel proof. Oh, I forgot to say what Breaking Bourbon said about it. Breaking Bourbon said the palate is toasted marshmallows, charred oak, caramel, sweet brown sugar, and it has a heavy body. Yeah, I get some of that. On the finish, they say initial spice with tobacco, leather, and aged oak. So I kind of agree with the finish there. The palate, I get that tobacco on the palate and that vanilla on the palate. Burnt brown sugar, I guess, kind of like the same, like a sweetness. But that oak is forward. That oak is way forward. Oak spice is way forward. 9.4. That's what we're doing it. So I got to get going for the rest of the night, you guys. Thank you for tuning into the podcast for another week. Episode 27. Can't believe we're here. I will see you guys next week. I'm going to let my brother Nick Bossy play me out as I do every week. Pretty New Diamond, Spotify, Apple Music. You know the deal. Make sure you're following the podcast on Instagram at Who Gives a Dram. Make sure you're following and subscribed on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify so you never miss an episode. Make sure you like and comment on my videos on YouTube. Oh, by the way, I just passed 50 subscribers on YouTube. I forgot to mention that. Thank you guys for putting me past 50 subscribers. Means a lot. It means that, you know, there are people out there who actually enjoy me making the videos, and I put a lot of time into it. So thank you so much for making that a reality for me. Next stop, 100. And that's it. That's it. So you guys enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy the rest of your week. Have a fantastic weekend. And I will catch up with you guys next week. Thank you.
Up in New England, that girl sure loved me. We got together and brought things to life. So I did buy her a pretty new diamond and asked that sweet woman if she'd be my wife. Kind of feeling the love songs are made of. With that sweet woman, spend the rest of my life. Before she came along, I was hurting, but at the end of my tunnel, I saw no light. Broke my heart and I can't keep going. Guess I'll just sit here and get drunk tonight. Vows they meant nothing and she ran to a stranger, and with Johnny Walker I'm passing my time. I asked the Lord, what should I do? But I'm too drunk to hear him tonight. So sit with my bottle while Hank Sr. singing, I'm so lonesome I could cry. She gave me back that pretty new diamond and broke my heart a second time. But I got the last laugh when I pawned off her ring, 'cause I bought me a dime bag and a case of Coors Light. I asked the Lord, oh, what should I do? But I'm too drunk to hear him tonight. So sit with my bottle while Hank Sr.'s singing. I'm so lonesome I could cry. So sit with my bottle while Hank Sr.'s singing. I'm so lonesome I could cry.